cut a little bit too much off, and that's why it doesn't want to join easily. Okay, see? That's okay. I wouldn't get rid of it. It just means you need to join this like really well. So you'll see, depending on how you place those eyelids, it could be an eye that's closing or an eye that is, you know, looking wide open, like it's in surprise. It's up to you how you want the eyes to look. I might just pull that one down a bit more. For the moment, that'll be fine. So we get on and do the other one. There. And we'll just quickly, very quickly, hopefully, do one more. Let's just see. So is that? Yeah. Okay. No. That's the perfect length there. So I'm going to get rid of. Just going to get rid of some of that. Okay. Pinch it out again. Okay, let's try and get this one done quickly too. You can spend ages getting these eyelids just perfect. It's up to you how you want to work. But for me to do that, it will make for a very, very boring video. So I'm trying to work as quickly as I can. Still quite fat. If you find it's a bit long, don't worry, you can just squeeze it out and then pinch it off at, you know, later on. Okay. So see how that's a bit long there? That's okay, don't worry about that. You can just do that. Okay. Need to try and join that. All right, so I've got two eyes. Just clean up this mess. My plastic, get my bowl. And again, I'd use this little template just so you get the eyes placed evenly. You might want to bring it in a little bit. I mean, it's up to you. I just find that you place one down, then it's hard to get it aligned not perfectly, but perfect enough. And this is just a way of doing that. So put it down. Okay, and really you don't have to trace the whole thing. You just have to sort of find that point there, that point there. Let's just see. Ooh, I can just see it. Just there. And there. Okay. Now, let's just muck around for placement. I think this eye is going to bring that eyelid down a bit. It's looking a bit startled. So maybe there and there. So this is where you play around with what you want. You might add just one big eye for some of them, or you might add multiple eyes. I mean, it's going to be up to you. Just keep in mind your whole composition. Like each bowl is one composition. It's one artwork, but all of these individual bowls have to hang together as one big piece, and it has to read easily. So people have to be able to stand back and look at it from a distance and go, oh yeah, yep, okay, I get it. So back to this. Now again, I would use your slip, or in my case, I'm going to use a bit of water. Okay. Some people would suggest just scoring it a little bit. I haven't found, as long as you join your edges really well, I haven't found any issues with eyes falling off. Okay, so I'm just pressing it down. Make sure it's stuck. We'll do the same for this one. Okay. Okay. That's not too bad. So, joining of the eyes. Again, use your joining tool. This is going to be hard to show on video, but basically, you just want to join, you want to smush the two edges together. I don't know if you can do it on this one. Don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. And then I would get that brush again. And not wet, just a little bit damp. And you kind of just tidy it up with the brush. Okay. So if you're not feeling confident that you've joined them well enough, at this point you could add just a little tiny coil of clay. So you could, like it's tiny, it'd be very tiny, tinier than that. Okay. So you just get some tiny coils, and you could place them in, and then you could join that just to reinforce your join if you're worried. I think you should be fine. And if you do find for some reason that in the process you have an eye that does break off, don't worry about it. Make sure you keep it with your bowls, and at the very end you're going to glaze these anyway, and your clear gloss glaze will actually help glue it on. And again, if that doesn't work, we can glue it on with some araldite later on. I think you should be fine though. There's no reason why you can't be doing this part of the process. So at this point, I would be going, all right, well, yeah, look, I'm happy with the eyelids, or I'm not, and I'd rearrange the eyelids a little bit. I'd also see how it's a bit scrappy there. We've got a bit of clay sort of just hanging around. So use your damp brush just to clean it up a bit, really. Here we go. That's looking a bit cleaner. Okay, so that's stage 2 done. Stage 3 is really just decorating the rim, and are there any words that you're going to put in? So the rim, I don't have the stamp. You have the stamp that I would like to be using, but I've just made some other stamps out of clay. And they've been fired, and I haven't used them before. So let's just, that one I used the other day on the other bowl. But so when you're doing stamping, I would always support, even though it's in a bowl, you don't want the bowl sort of moving, so just support whatever you're doing with your hand, and you sort of rock it gently, side to side, down and up. Go, oh yeah, it could actually, just a little bit more down the bottom there. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, all good. Now the edges are a little bit wibbly wobbly, but again, once this has dried to about leather hard, so that's where it's stiff, but it's not completely dry. You could still manipulate the clay if you had to. That's when I'd be taking it out of the bowl. Okay. The next hardest thing, probably the last hardest thing actually, is getting a line. And I think you should probably try to get a line, and because the edges of your bowl are going to be gold, you're going to paint those gold, and so you sort of need somewhere to stop painting the gold, and putting a line in is going to give you a natural place to stop. So if I was going to use this stamp, I could literally just add the line in there and I'd have a natural spot. But I know the stamp you've got is different. When you're doing a line, again, don't use the tip of your cutting tool. Use the side, because you will get a nice clean line. The other thing is you want to try and move the bowl, not you move it. So the way I try to do it, and it may or may not work, is you sort of position your arm, you put your elbow into your stomach or into your side, you place down your tool and you move the bowl around, trying to keep your hand as still as possible. Oh, and it just feels really weird. And I'm moving. I can feel that I'm moving. Oh, yep. There we go. So you haven't quite joined up. But I've managed to join it. If I kept going, I could join it to there. So then, where's my little... You can use that metal kidney, or I've just got a nice little knife here. It's a butter knife. And it's got a nice smooth end, and I can rub out all sorts of mistakes. You could use a teaspoon. We'll do the same thing. Okay, so you now have your edge trim, which is supposed to reference the gold frame of a picture frame. So you'll paint eventually, that'll be the very last thing you do, is you'll paint a gold paint, not a glaze. It'll be a paint that you then paint around the edge. You could even take that gold right down underneath the bowl, so it's all gold underneath. And then you'll have white, and you'll glaze it. You'll use, I don't know, maybe let's say a blue or a green for the eyes, so they really stand out. And the little dot on top, the iris, you'll do in black. And then you'll have perhaps words stamped in there. So I've included stamps that I use in your little package. They are to go back to school when you're done. I've purchased those for the school. Okay, so that is the end of the video. That's as hard as it gets. I am really confident that you're going to be able to churn out quite a few of these. So it'd be lovely. I think you'd be able to do at least one a day. They should only take you about an hour to do, but you've got 2 bowls. So you should be doing perhaps 2 a day and see how you go. Like, the more you get, the better. So if you could actually fill up a whole wall with bowls with messages, would be awesome. So let me know how you go with all of this. If you need any extra help, please just email me or talk to your teacher. And good luck. Cheers.